So now I'm back. This isn't about the barley harvest. This is about news updates and importance. So I'm going to read you all this wonderful information because this needs out. So Russia may have just attacked the West directly. The threat to the undersea infrastructure, like every other threat just now, is increasing. Only a few weeks ago, I don't even know how to pronounce this, hiatus, so adequately disrupting commercial shipping in the Bab-el Mandeb choke point, declared that they were going to add undersea disruption to their playbook. They said they would target the submarine cables that run through Bab-el Mandeb between Asia and Europe. Many commenters, myself included, thought that despite the increasing Russian presence on the ground, there is known from phone intercepts, the highest lacked the experts to do this in a way that wouldn't be immediately obvious while it was happening. However, suggests that this judgment may have been premature. As with all the undersea disruption, establishing what has happened is hard. For example, it isn't clear whether it was 4 separate cables belonging to AAE/1, CCOM, EIG, and TGN, or just one that was severed. Internet monitoring firm NetBlocks confirmed services in Djibouti have been disrupted. CCOM likewise reports cable issues, but apportions no blame. Flag Telecom founder and telecoms entrepreneur Sunil Tegari said on his social media account that it was confirmed that the cables had been cut without saying where the confirmation had come from. Okay, and it should be noted that cable breaks all the time. There are more than 100 every year. But the other critical information that is missing is where off the coast of Yemen isn't particularly helpful when it comes to assessing the depth of water and therefore the complexity of the operation and thus who could have done it. Are there breaks where the cables come up in the beach of Djibouti, which would limit any disruption ashore that area, or was in 100 m of flowing water beneath busy shipping lane out in the strait? The latter could mean noticeable disruption to all traffic between Asia and Europe, though one said note that there are other cables remaining to the Red Sea, and it's also possible to route data south round Africa or even round the world the other way. And cutting cables where they come from ashore would be trivially easy. It might be done by a ship or a small fishing vessel dragging a hook, and it might appear to be normal activity. The Iranian spy and weapon shipment vessel MV whatever has been anchored near Djibouti. Cutting cables without detected out in the strait would be much more difficult, probably a task for a specifically equipped submarine, not a job for the Houthis or even the Iranians, probably. So, whether the Houthis, Iranians, or Russians, or a combination, did or didn't attack the cables is less relevant than the fact that they have motive and are accelerating their capabilities in these areas. And they want to continue to carry this out. That's some pretty heavy stuff to maintain. Okay, and we know we've had lots of dreams, especially me, about Russia, China, and all of them. Okay, so the thing that is happening is we have all these illegal immigrants that have poured into our country. Okay, and we know that 20,000 are Chinese. And what they're going to do, it's going to be an inside job. I've dreamt of Russia, China, and NATO forces coming against America, bombing us, nuclear bombs, okay? But we know, like 9/11, it's going to be a staged inside attack to trap people in, okay, all from outside. That's where they're going to attack, is the outsides of the United States, so nobody can leave and nobody can come in. They have you trapped. That's what the FEMA camps are going to be set up for and all this wonderful stuff. So, and now NATO, okay, is talking about sending troops to Ukraine. And Russia, as we speak, are moving all of their nuclear weapons, and they are giving them money, and they're now using the VA hospitals that are for the vets. And they said that China has 20,000 troops physically in the United States ready to wreak havoc. The mayor of New York City gave a huge pay cut to the police, firefighters, sanitation to give money to the illegal Amazon, Walmart, and more major elites which are selling off their shares of held stocks. They know something we don't. April 8th in the eclipse, which is going to make a complete X over the United States, which is the bullseye, that the X forms on the new Madrid fault line, and the U.S. is forcing the division of Israel for the Palestinians. And God said, those who divide my land, I would divide theirs. The red heifer is about to be slain in Israel on or before Passover. That alone is super prophetic news. But so many don't know that Jesus is about to have his angel blow his shofar to come get us. Okay, and look at how much this country has already changed, and America is about to go boom. Other countries are sending their human refugees here to die. In meantime, they are devastating our economy, and U.S. is going down. They are testing us before an attack. Okay, and you have to test the parameters of the enemy's position, so that they can seek us out for weakness. If all of our troops are moved overseas for these wars, we're not going to have anybody to defend us. Oh, reminds me of what? Pearl Harbor. Same thing. And tomorrow is March 1st, and they already said that it is a partial government shutdown. But yet they still had enough money to send Ukraine another Christmas present. Money, money, money. This is all staged. All right? All of it. And, and China is making moves, and the U.S. Army are getting the call. And they've had a lot of heavy transportation planes, which were leaving actually Fort Campbell, Tennessee. Okay, and there's not too many soldiers around town. What are they doing? What are they moving? Heavy equipment. Why are they doing this? So the X over America, war in Ukraine's increasing, and this is confirmed by Israel. Hezbollah urgently prepping for full-scale war, which means Iran is getting involved. Israel's surrounded. Iran wants to wipe Israel and the United States off the map. We'll be pulled into this mess in such a magnitude that Americans won't understand. So the tribulation is about to start, and we are already feeling the first waves of it. Okay, and we are the watchful church getting ready to leave, to go home, up in the air, and how exciting it is. And they're already saying 331 could be our second 9/11 nuclear blast. Okay, so they start off with being called the Freedom Tower that's replaced the fallen Twin Towers. Now it's called the One World Trade Center. Boom. That's the first hit. Along with The Simpsons Show, Back to the Future 1 predicted the first 9/11. Back to the Future 2 predicts the second 9/11. So we're getting so close to going home, along with the red heifer going to be sacrificed on or before Passover. Okay? So there's a lot of information that is out here. And with this partial government shutdown, I believe that they are going to, okay, because I went and took my daughter today for an x-ray. All over, if you are in St. Franciscan Network, which we know is a branch off Catholicism, they have taken out any type of medical type of insurance, of MHS, Hoosier Health Wise, all of that. They told me that by the 15th, even my network, my doctor, everything gone. Okay, they are making people get taxes, pay back thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that they shouldn't have even owed. It's so that they don't make it obvious what they're doing to the economy. Gas is already going back up over by me quite a bit. Okay, I have a 4-cylinder that I drive every day in Malibu, and it takes me like $34 to fill up. Now it's like $44. Okay, I know that's not much of a difference, but it is for a 4-cylinder. And so everything that's happening is just going to get worse. And worse and worse and worse. I believe that this is going to be economic strain, and I believe this partial shutdown is going to be a full shutdown. That's why they're starting it in March. Okay? And then, so America needs to brace itself. Okay? The betrayal of this administration is coming against Israel, and that day has arrived. All right, I need you to understand the seriousness of what has happened. A literate curse, okay? First recall Genesis 12:3, which says, God is speaking to Abraham and his descendants, and I will bless them that bless thee, and I will curse them that curse thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. For the first time in American history, the Biden administration has drafted a letter of condemnation of Israel. A U.S. representative will represent the UN for all of nations of the world to condemn Israel and force them into a ceasefire. All right, that will prevent Israel from defending themselves against the evil Hamas and thus cursing Israel. And it's cursing America. Also, Biden is pushing hard for the two-state solution, dividing Israel and giving East Jerusalem to the Arabs. All this is strictly forbidden in the Bible. Okay. All right, so Jerusalem. The Biden administration has reportedly taken its goal of a temporary ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war to the UN Security Council as early as Tuesday. Okay. The administration is said to have proposed a draft UN Security Council resolution, which in part would call for a temporary ceasefire and call on Israel to not go into Rafah, into the Gaza Strip. Guys, this stuff's extremely important. And I'm attaching 2 different videos, which is talking about this eclipse, why it's so important. And then I have another video talking about the eclipse and it being on the menorah. Okay, and last night I started seeing the alignment up in the sky, 3 of them. I tried to take a perfect picture, but it was blurry because I was driving. As soon as I got home, because I live in the country, I'm surrounded by thousands. Okay, I live on 4 acres, but I have thousands of flat land, of cornfield around me. And I'm looking out there. My phone couldn't even take the picture of this alignment. And so far it's 3. It's 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. And my phone, the way that it is, could only get the 2 part. Now, if I drive further away, I could take a picture, but it was like 20 degrees, 18 degrees last night. So I was pretty cold, even though it was 71. Now it's 50 today, and I had my air conditioner on, and I never do that. So I'm going to read you one last thing. And this is from Brother Dana. Okay, and this stuff's, I didn't even know this information. Brother G44 advised me to plot the Feast of Trees on our menorah diagram using the Enochian calendar date. And boy, am I glad I did, because it revealed some astonishing alignment. In fact, the addition of this date and its mirror date seems to be complete the symmetry. First of all, please make sure to have read the last community post. Okay, I don't care about that. Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, but no. 11:15. Shavat 15, Feast of Trees, lands on March 3rd on the Enochian calendar. That's the 318th day of the Enochian calendar year. Again, so what they did is 318, the number 318, 318th prime number is 2111, which is 211 connects to John 21:11 and the 153 fish, to Genesis 1:2, the verse where trees are created, because Genesis is the first book. So Genesis 1:12 equals 1112 or 1112, the reverse of 2111. Okay, I don't believe in all gematria, and I don't believe in all numbers and stuff. I know God has showed me lots of numbers, but there's a point where I'm reading this because it's actually pretty good. Watching is also connected to the almonds, and particularly the almond tree, because the almonds are shaped like eyes. And other reasons, such as the occurrence of the Strong's H3869, which is almond tree, occurring in Genesis 30:37 or 13:37. And I find that funny because my husband's going to be 37 on April 8th. Okay. And Jesus tells the disciple to watch, G1127. And Mark 13:37, which is 337, is also connected to the Feast of Trees on the account of its date, Shavat 15, also known as 11:15, since 11:15 equals 733. And 337 reversed. I get that. So the date of 33224 is 338. And I think they're adding numbers to get this. Anyways, this signals Psalms 83:3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Also, the word taken occurs 338 times in the King James Version. Okay, and you can also particularly reduce 338 to 68, which is 3 plus 3 is 6, and then 68. Okay, since 3 plus 3 is 6, and the 68th prime number is 337. That's insane. All that said, Feast of Trees mirror date on the diagram is 1120, which reduces to 11:2, signaling the verse in Genesis where trees are created. The two dates are connected by two spans of 52 days, totaling 104 days. It's interesting that the new moon calendar Feast of Trees date on 2/26 seems to hint at that, since 2 times 26 is 52. Okay, those two spans of 52 days signal Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of the kings is to search out a matter. 11:20, 2023 also reduces to 11:27, like in the Strong's 11:27, G27, which means to watch. Okay, remember from, all right, so I think this is Dana Coverstone, actually. It might be something else. But anyways, he keeps going on 214th, blah, blah, blah. Okay, sorry. I don't, like I said, I'm not 100% into this. But anyways, all of this pretty much, I can put this on the community page and you guys can read this. How about that? Because that's a lot. Pretty much stating that March 3rd is what they are saying it boils down to in the Bible on the Gregorian, or the Enochian calendar. And, you know, and it says, anyway, if the rapture were to happen on this Enochian Feast of Trees dates, we would think it would probably be 3/3 in the Far East and Australia, but 3/2 in the Americas. Keep looking up. Okay, and there's an actual table here that they put together, and it all makes sense. I wouldn't have presented this to you if I didn't find it confirming or important. So I'm going to attach 2 videos to this, and I want you guys to watch them and be amazed, because I will be back with some more mind-blowing Bible studies. See you there in the air. God bless.
I just wanted to make a super short video from the information at the end of my last video. A lot of people never make it to the end of long videos, and this is just too good to miss. This gorgeous menorah that God is putting in the heavens for us will be formed on 3/13. It is His 3 candles, 1 candle, and 3 candles, with the sun in the center, which lights them all. These are all 7 of God's great luminaries in the heavens, the sun and the moon, and the 5 planets that are visible to the naked eye. It is also 13 days after my leap day count. What's amazing is that it is also happening on the 3rd day of the 13th month on the Hebrew calendar. I could back up a couple of hours on Stellarium to get the moon more evenly spaced, but as I explained in my last video, there is a reason why I have set the time to Jerusalem time at the 0 hour on the 13th of March, 3/13, the 313 of God's menorah. If you notice, Jupiter, our king planet, will be in the exact spot that the sun was during the crucifixion and sundown when they put Jesus into the tomb. So this menorah in the heavens really does sing the song of Moses and the song of the Lamb. One of the reasons I want to make sure everyone sees this gorgeous, incredible menorah is because no one will ever see it with their eyes. I mean, this is only something that will be seen on Stellarium, because this alignment is all lined up with the sun, and our sun is lighting them all up. And when the sun is out, no matter where you are on the planet, the sun puts a veil over our eyes, so we can't see God's planets and the stars in the heavens.
On April 8th, 2024, there will be another total solar eclipse that will mark an X right across the nation of the United States. That alone seems to have some sort of prophetic significance, as well as the fact that that takes place just a few days before the Passover that year. But also, on October 14th, 2023, this year, another annular solar eclipse is going to cross the United States. And what's truly incredible about all of that, when you mark this all on a map, it looks exactly like the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, the Aleph. Some other pretty incredible things surrounding this is that on October 14th, 2023, when the annular solar eclipse will take place across the United States, That is also the day of the new moon in Jerusalem. And then on April 8th, 2024, when we get the next total solar eclipse that crosses the United States, marking the X, is that there's another new moon in Jerusalem on that date. And also April 8th happens to be the first day of the first month on the Hebrew calendar, and so it's the marking of a brand new biblical year on that date. In Luke 21:25, after Jesus says that there will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars in the last days, he said that there will also be distress of nations. Israel and Jerusalem being an absolute focal point for what takes place in the last days. It's incredible to see that lately there has been distress in Israel.
Tonight, there is unrest across Israel on the eve of a defining moment, even as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu recovers from an emergency heart procedure. The 73-year-old Prime Minister said he's in excellent health and said he will be in the Knesset Monday when his right-wing ruling coalition is set to pass the first part of his judicial overhaul plan. Opposition to the plan reached a climax this weekend with mass protests across the country. The bitter disagreement reflects the deep split in Israel between those who want a more secular and diverse nation and those with a more religious and nationalistic vision.
Recently, France has been seeing massive unrest take place, just another nation to add to the list that's experiencing distress.
Molotov cocktails directed at the police, burning buses and looting. For days on end, riots spread across France.
The prophecies of the last days and what the world will look like in the end times, I don't think is just going to happen overnight. It seems that these things are going to have to be built up to that very point, and it seems like that's what we're getting a glimpse of right now.